Brilliance Audio presents Her Last Hope by Louise Guy, performed by Candice Mole. With her head bowed, Abby stole a glance from under her dark sunglasses at the handful of mourners surrounding the grave. She wasn't sure what shocked her more, that she was burying her husband, or that so few people had turned up for his funeral. Had they got the wrong date? How was it possible that people could turn so quickly on the man who'd only recently celebrated his 40th birthday, attended by close to 200 friends and family? Rumours were flying around, but nothing had been confirmed. How could they doubt their friend's integrity? And regardless, why weren't they there to support her and Hayden? A squeeze of her hand brought her out of her thoughts, and she managed a weak smile. Thank God for Mel. Her sister had rushed to Melbourne from Geelong minutes after receiving the phone call from Abby. She'd been incredible at keeping 16-year-old Hayden fed, helping Abby with the funeral arrangements, and making many of the phone calls to advise family and friends of the situation. Tony, Mel's husband, had arrived earlier that morning, in time to join them for the funeral. Abby hadn't had a chance to talk to him properly yet, but the coolness that radiated from him confirmed he was only there out of obligation. She wondered how many others were there for the same reason. Lila, her best friend, smiled as Abby caught her eye. Lila was genuine. She knew that. It was hard to believe, though, that out of Eric's family, only his brother Gabe had turned up. His parents hadn't even made the trip. Fresh tears spilled down Abby's cheeks as the reality of how life had changed in an instant stabbed at her. It hadn't just changed for her. There was also Hayden to consider. From the moment Abby found Eric, she'd been in denial, unable to comprehend that her husband could have taken his own life. He loved her and Hayden, adored them. Even his note didn't convince her. I love you both so much. Use my life insurance. You're strong and you'll be fine. Tell everyone I'm sorry. She'd called the police, certain he'd been murdered. But their investigations had confirmed there had been no one else involved. And as the police investigated further and news of Eric's business dealings came to light, the note made more sense. Feelings of uncertainty plagued Abby even now, while Pastor Philip read a prayer as the casket was lowered into the ground. It was incomprehensible that Eric would do something that was not only illegal, but high risk, and which he knew could destroy their family and friends. But he had, leaving her questioning whether she had really known her husband at all. She placed a hand on her son's shoulder. His face contorted in a grimace as he folded his arms across his chest. He hadn't wanted to come. He believed what they were saying about his father. He was angry and upset, and as hard as she'd tried, Abby hadn't been able to get through to him. She had, however, insisted he attend the funeral. He'd regret it for the rest of his life if he didn't. Now she was beginning to question her decision. In fact, since discovering Eric's body, she'd been questioning every part of her existence. Angry tears pricked the back of her eyes. She wasn't sure who she was mad with. Eric? Their friends who'd deserted them? Hayden for not only believing what was being said, but seemingly blaming her too? Herself for being oblivious to her husband's business dealings.